Hello friends, this is Coldrun. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. I am a bird, apparently. And we're here in Garlemald with this jagged aetherite. Ready to continue. Delivery Moogle. Okay. Alizé. Shouldn't be long before we have a half-decent camp with so many helping hands. I was concerned the snow might hinder our progress, but our Ishgardian friends are used to working in conditions like these. Yeah, having Ishgardians really helps in a place like this. Alphino. In spite of the obstacles we faced, our plan proceeds apace. Just a little farther and we'll reach the capital itself. Still, we mustn't get ahead of ourselves. As soon as the camp has been made fit for purpose, we are to discuss a course of action with Lucia. Would you mind asking Y'shtola and G'raha to join us in that building to the northeast of the camp? Alizé and I will meet you there. I keep thinking, by the way, about that tower. Is this... Here's what I'm not sure of. I assumed, and I still am kind of assuming, that this is just one of the Telophoroi towers that was plopped down, just like the Tower of Zot, but maybe a bigger one. What I'm not sure about is what could be, though, is maybe this is the Imperial Palace that's been corrupted to look like this. So that I'm not sure about. Barthélemy. Supervising some sparring sessions. We must remain as mobile as we are able in temperatures such as these. I fear that if we stand still for too long, the ice and snow may freeze our very bones. Yes, I agree. And even though you look like you're in warm leather stuff, I'm thinking of a comment my friend ZZ made in the last video about how unpleasant it would be to freeze in metal armor specifically. But I have to imagine they're wearing warm stuff underneath. Y'shtola. A meeting? Yes, I'll make my way over there once my head is cleared. In truth, I've been feeling out of sorts since we've arrived. The air is thick with a palpable aura of malevolence. 'Tis the monstrous tower on the horizon, jagged, hideous, unholy. Even at this distance, its presence is overwhelming. Yeah, I hear that. Much like the sensation I felt in the Tower of Zot, only far more terrifying. Ether flows unceasingly towards it, converging into a swirling mass of unfathomable power. And remember that Y'shtola is... She's not blind. She's blind in the normal ways. She can't see as we see. She only sees ether. So she sees sort of like Matrix vision, but for ether. And so this must be like a that must be like a nauseating sight for her. For a blessing, the constant chill in the air is helping to anchor my senses in the here and now. Tell the others I shall be with you in a few moments. Will do. Oh, that's a cool mount. Unless it's a store-bought mount, in which case, screw it. I really dislike that Final Fantasy XIV has store-bought mounts. Strong dislike for that. Anyway, Roshilda. Greetings, Second Flame Lieutenant Kushu. If you wish to know aught of the current situation, you've come to the right person. Yeah, who are you? The name's Roshilda of the Alamegan Resistance. When I was offered a place in the Ilsabard contingent, I leapt at the opportunity. If you're wondering why I'd be so eager to aid the people of Garlemald, the reason is simple. Like the rest of Girabania, my hometown, a waypoint oft used by travelers, was under occupation. Times were hard, but they could have been a lot worse if not for one particular Imperial. Although his fellow soldiers were quick to dish out a beating, he stood up for the townspeople without regard for his own reputation and safety. Thanks to him, my family made it to the end of the war more or less unscathed. And this is my way of returning the favor. That's really interesting. So there was one... Even in a corrupt system, one person trying to do good can really make a difference. I really believe that. What kind of place is this? This camp takes its name from the ice covering the ground that cracks whenever you step on it, much like breaking glass. To think that the Garleans made their home in this blasted wasteland all those years ago, and not only live but thrive, it's given me a newfound appreciation for their hardiness and determination to survive against the odds. Yeah, they've really done well for themselves. Aside from the If it weren't for, well, it's hard to separate all the imperialism and conquering from how they're doing without, like, there's no, it's hard to see without that. Excuse me, sneeze. Yeah, it's hard to say how they'd be doing without that, but you at least, like, it should, in theory, at least be possible to get, oh my god, there's a player named Krusty Krabs, with a small shell pet, of course. It should, at least in theory, be possible for them to trade their way to this sort of success. Especially now that it's already in place. June. So a yellow jacket. It's not only the tempered that need care. A fair few of our own were wounded on the Magna Glacies. Magna Glacies? If only we hadn't needed to defend the supply caravan, a lot more of us could have joined the front line. Yeah, we were spread kind of thin there. Graha. You will be pleased to know that most of the tempered have been quartered in inside the nearby buildings, and are receiving treatment as we speak. I like your new coat. It's not as... I like your old uniform better, but just because of the red and gold colors I think suit Graha very well. But this is pretty cool too. I do, however, feel no small amount of guilt for commandeering civilian homes. The occupants may be long gone, but everything is exactly as they left it. Considering the length of time that has clearly passed, one would expect to find them ransacked. Strangely, there are no signs of anything having been stolen. I mean, if you can assume that most of the hostile Garleans at this point are tempered, they just wouldn't be on their minds. It literally wouldn't be something they prioritize. It's possible that everyone fled at the first sign of trouble, though it seems to me that they left far too many useful possessions behind. Though there's no conclusive evidence, I strongly suspect they were tempered. Yeah. I'm sorry, I was merely thinking aloud. You mentioned a meeting. I will make my way there. Hawisia? Between guarding our supplies and keeping an eye on the tempered as they undergo treatment, we're certainly kept busy. Can I see them? No, I don't think I can. Not yet, at least. I'm sure eventually I'll be able to. Alright, let's make our way over to here. Ambagai, who are you? Well, I think the name speaks for itself. Ambagai. Hi, Ambagai. God, this place is cold. We have our share of chilly nights on the steppe, but have never experienced anything like this before. Yeah, this is a rough transition for anyone not used to it. Talon. Many of us took quite the beating on the Magna Glacies, but we all helped each other hobble through the snow and wind, sparing nary a thought for which delegation we belonged to. From now, we're all firm comrades through thick and thin. I do hear from veterans, like military veterans, that's what kind of war does. That even non-combat scenarios, just being in any sort of military-style strife builds that sort of camaraderie. Estelo. I'm the quartermaster here. It's my job to make sure the camp remains both well supplied and maintained. Nice to meet you. Kochacha. That's a cute name. We've come too far, risked too much to solely worry about our own hides, for there is so much more at stake. Well said. Makago no Kago. Lalafell names are consistently the best. We have finally managed to set up camp after marching through all that snow. I hope that whoever lived here doesn't mind us using the buildings for shelter. They might, but, I mean, they're probably tempered, so no worries. Alright, let's check in with these people. Sicard. Hell's bells, this place is bloody freezing. Rather be tied to the topmast in a storm than suffer this cold any longer. Anyone can spare a wig or swig of rum, that'll sort me right out. Arun Senna. That tempered oh god, right, he has a normal voice, doesn't he? The tempered soldiers are sleeping soundly while they undergo treatment. There are too many to attend at once, but I and the other healers will see to all eventually. Maxima, my friend. This is all that remains of Laterum. Homes become empty husks. If this is the state of the outlying villages, I dread to think what's become of the capital. Yeah, the capital must be it's either ghostly and untouched, or it's an utter ruin, and I'm not sure which. Or it's both. No, or it can't be both. Pippin. We've asked the Ironworks members and some of our other comrades to stay with the airships. In the event we are discovered, we must be ready to move them to a swifter, safer location. Lys and Cyrena. Lys. Rabban taught me a lot about military strategy during exercises in the fringes. Coordinating units with wildly different capabilities, surveying and securing hostile terrain, that sort of thing. Now I have the chance to put his teachings into practice. He'll be very proud of you. I mean that sincerely. Cyrena. Vergilia is in our care, along with the rest of the Tempered. Glory to Garlemald, glory to Garlemald. They still whisper in their sleep, even as they writhe in pain. It's rough to watch. Lucia. Thank you for informing the others of our meeting. When everyone's here, we'll begin. By the way, if my nose sounds stuffy, it's because it is. Apologies for any sound differences that gives.
Is as follows. Efforts to aid the people of Garlemald have begun in earnest. Moreover, having entered into the capital, the Imperial Palace is within our reach.
But before we proceed further, we must learn what has befallen this city. For therein lies the key to understanding and combating the Telophoroid's designs.
Agreed. Has she always had those feathers hanging from her head?
I have a suggestion, if I may.
This is your home turf, Maxima.
Several of the Imperial soldiers we captured on the Magna Glaciers are members of the Populares and acquaintances of mine.
Okay.
Once we've cured them of their tempering, they should be able to give a reliable account of the events leading to the capital's downfall.
A promising idea. I will assist the healers and their ministrations.
Yeah, good way to get information. I like it.
Of course, I will require a proxy of my own, assuming you can spare one.
Would you like a hand?
No, I am sure we will manage. Better that you take my place in the field. The noxious ether of this place disagrees with me, and as I shall need to draw on my own for the treatment, 'twill be prudent for me to remain within the camp.
Yeah, we heard from her about that.
Curing the Tempered is all well and good, but I reckon the cold is a more pressing concern. All the houses round here are fitted with ceruleum heaters that could keep us warm and toasty. Problem is, the machines seem to have given up the ghost, and if we keep sitting around, freezing our asses off, we'll be next. My smiths reckon that with the right parts, they can have them working again, but it won't be easy.
Oh, so is this just like go collect scraps from around town?
Understood. The machinist will assist them in the repairs.
Okay.
The rest of us should either stand watch or survey the area.
I do like that the machinists can be used in that way, that they're not just like gunfighters, they're engineers.
We've made our presence known to the Telophroi. They will be searching for us, if they have not already ascertained our position. That we have seen no sign of them since the battle suggests they have yet to do so. However, I suspect they may be biding their time.
Yeah, I really don't know what their... Because my thought was that their plan was to just stall out until they've sucked up enough ether to go through with the next stage of their plan. But now that we're knocking on their door, I'm surprised they're not being more aggressive.
Or perhaps we are beneath their notice.
That's what I would have thought before, but how are we beneath their notice when we're right at the tower?
In any event, we'll find no answers standing around here. Urianger, Estinian and myself have visited Garlemald recently, so we'll lead the reconnaissance efforts. Perhaps bolstered by a few Bosnian and Dalmatian scouts from my previous excursion for good measure.
Yeah, you probably made a good impression on them.
Don't forget about us Alamegans. We have experienced scouts of our own.
Well now, this is turning out to be a rather sizable team. With such numbers, we should be able to cover a wide area with relative ease, including that surrounding the Imperial Palace.
Yeah, a lot of skilled scouts in this group.
How about you, Graha? I have a feeling we'll find a use or two for that vanishing spell of yours.
'Twould be my honor to be of service, though I doubt that you of all people need rely on my tricks.
That leaves us with guard duty.
As a matter of fact, I have something else in mind for the two of you and Alphino.
Oh, okay. Lay it on me, Lucia.
Between here and the center of the capital lies the Eblan Rime. I would have you search the area for survivors.
Ever since I first played Final Fantasy IV, when I was like... God, when did Super Nintendo first come out? Must have been in like late out like 6th grade or something. But ever since then I was always calling it Eblan. Now I know it's Eblan.
Your keen sense of direction, honed in your extensive travels, should prove useful in navigating the ice fields.
Yeah, sure. If there are any survivors, we'll surely find them. Extensive travels is something of an understatement, but I suppose if there's nothing else that needs doing... Ice fields, I love ice fields. Oh wait, no I don't. No, I'm not going to sass the ice fields. I do love ice fields. If there's any survivors, we will surely find them.
I have faith that you will, and look forward to greeting you on your safe return. You all have your duties. Let us make haste. May the Fury bless and keep you.
This... Sorry, yeah, this doesn't feel like the time for sass. Even if I felt that way about my character. When I first made Kukushu, I had designs on making her like Shantotto from Final Fantasy XI, like an evil, maniacal black mage, but I don't know, there's not a lot of great room for that within this story as a protagonist, so I tend to be more, vanilla good guy. Right, Alphino. Or let's just finish off the quest off first. Alize. Gods be good. If it's this cold with Tataro's clothing, I dread to think how we'd fare without it. Must remember to thank her when next we meet. It makes me realize, too, that while the people of Garlemald have spent their whole lives in conditions like these, even they'd be hard-pressed to survive away from the warmth of their homes. If there are any survivors, we must find them, and quickly. Agreed. Okay, so there's some side quests that popped up, so we'll take a look at those in a second. Let's talk to these two. Alphino. I've never thought myself much of an explorer, though I suppose my adventures have taken me to all sorts of strange and distant places. With that in mind, traversing an ice field should be a simple feat. Probably not. Alize. So it's into the Eblan Rime we go. But where do we even start looking in such a place? I don't know, but we will find out soon. But for now... Oh, whoops, wrong way. But for now, let's take a look at the side quests here. Bear baiting and your inventory is not full. Okay. Magni, how you doing? Being a third wheel as always. Searching for survivors. If they're truly strong, they will not require our aid. This is why you don't get a Nama. While you are gone, we will guard the camp against any man or beast foolish enough to challenge us. My duty as a sentinel will afford me little opportunity to seek my Nama, though perhaps one among our ranks, come bearing a hot meal or such, will prove worthy. Oh God, I hate Magni. Magni is absolutely the type of person who, when a waitress says, like, I hope you enjoy your meal, like, he's like, are you my Nama? Like, he's that kind of guy. Sadhu. Standing atop the enormous edifice to cast their eyes down upon the Dominion, these Talaferoi and the Oranir have much in common, yet even Magni and his ilk would not stoop to stealing the minds of their subjects and enemies. When the time comes to storm their stronghold, I shall lead the charge and leave naught but ash in my wake. Continuing to be best girl. Serena? Most of the members of Lente's Tears and the Bosnian Resistance have joined the other scouts in the field. And since Lys and Pippin's troops are already keeping an eye on the airships, we of the Steppe shall guard the camp against intruders. Though in truth, it is we who are intruding in these lands. Yeah, it's a fair perspective to keep in mind as we go. Gemstone trader, Zawawa. The air may be chilly, but... Oh, okay, you're a Lalafell. The air may be chilly, but I've got some great deals on rare items that are sure to warm the cockles of your heart. All I ask in return are bicolor gemstones. What do you say? Absolutely. But first, I'm going to the internet, and I'm Googling, or dictionary.com, cockle. What is a cockle? I know the cockles of your hearts, but... Cockle. Any bivalve mollusk of the common edible species of Europe. That's probably not what that means. That's what a cockle is. Never mind. A cockle is a type of mollusk. Why is the cockle, warm the cockles in your hearts a thing? I don't know. Anyway. Okay. So currently there's Almasty fur, a softer fur for you have never known. Saiga hide, heavy hide of Saiga. Ovibo's milk possesses a unique taste one might not normally associate with milk. That sounds gross. Okay. What quest do you have, Iliet? Bear baiting. Man-eating bears stalk the ice fields, and Iliet has a mind to turn the tables, but not quite as one would expect. Are we going to make friends with the bears? Ah, just the person I was hoping to see. Might I interest you in a little hunting? Sure. Nod, yes. It's bears I'm after. If you've never tried their meat, I'd thoroughly recommend it. They're far from the easiest of prey, though I dare say you've faced much worse. I've heard that bear meat is super gamey. If you're game... Oh, speaking of which, if you're game, here's the plan. First, we lure them out with this deer meat, which is also laced with sleeping potion. Then it's a simple matter of walking over and offing them in the manner of your choosing. What could be simpler? Yeah, this is not going to work. Here's 3 servings of prime venison. Be sure to let the concoction take effect before swooping in to claim your prize. I guess. Feels kind of... not mean, but I don't know. Feels like we're not giving them a sporting chance, but I guess that's not the point of hunting. Alright, so we got our destination there. Let's see how this works. Regio Demorum. Sedative-laced venison. Although this morsel would have been perfectly edible had it not been marinated in sleeping potion, using it as bait to snare a bear will provide valuable sustenance for the whole Ilsabard contingent. Should the plan fail, however, not only will this prime venison have gone to waste, you will most likely be dead. That's true. If bear baiting goes wrong, then you can't really feel sad about it afterwards. Massive bear. Wait, I already... Why are you coming up to me? I thought you're supposed to eat the thing. Did I do this wrong? Maybe I did this wrong. So fate cropped up here from Keltlona. It's an emergency! I'm supposed to be guarding Ebrilno, but he ran off before I could stop him. He climbed aboard that war machina to gather some important parts, thinking it was deactivated, only for it to come alive with him still inside. Please, you gotta help him. Yeah, let's rescue him. Thank you. I'll be rallying more of our troops, but for now that war machina is all yours. Manned death machine, and a nice little Easter egg for anyone not familiar with the first Final Fantasy game, but this is the model used for the super boss in Final Fantasy I. We've seen it before a bit, but still neat. Ebrilno of the Ironworks has clambered aboard an Imperial war machina, only for it to spring to life with him inside. The chance of rescuing him is to bring the machina to a crashing halt. Gotcha. And even that ray it's using, I think that was like the big attack it used in Final Fantasy I. Like a giant nuclear attack against all the 4 party members, something like that. Got it. Is our friend going to pop out of it, though? Looks like we're safe for the time being. Whew, too close to comfort. For comfort. Good. We helped you escape. Many thanks for your timely assistance. What was he saying? Did you find anything? Aye, the methods I'd researched prior to my detection were used in this magitech. So Ebrilno was looking for methods? Then it's true. So where to next? Let's search the facility where I was stationed. I love seeing these former Imperials. We may be able to glean vital information there. So this is a storyline that's going to continue. Very well, I'll follow your lead. Yeah, this little fate storyline looks like is going to continue. Neat. This zone music is really interesting. It feels it's definitely a it's definitely a it's definitely a variant on something I've heard before, like in a dungeon. It's a slower variant, but it's definitely a variant on something we've heard before. I don't know what though. Iliette, I see you're still in possession of a full set of limbs, which can only mean the hunt was a success. Truth be told, I heard from others in the field that the bear you encountered was rather more lively than we'd anticipated, and a fair bit bigger. Yet your reports were true. What? You felled that brute all by yourself? I am quite something. Most impressive, though it would appear that the sleeping potion provided by Lord Amanalaine was considerably less effective than he led us to believe. Fucking Amanalaine. As he tells it, he adopted this approach after incurring the wrath of his Lord Father for his inability to master more sporting methods. He spoke of his exploits with some pride, despite the tales hardly painting him in a favorable light. Yep, that sounds like him. Still, in our present situation, we must forego the thrill of the hunt and select the means that present the surest route to success, underhanded though they may be. I really don't mind it. But it sounds like a very Amanalaine thing. Regrettably, the bears of this region are entirely immune to the formula, or perhaps there was something wrong with it to begin with. In any case, no harm done, eh? To you, not the bears, obviously. Yeah, the bears are lunch. Alright, Contingent Quartermaster, what do you got? Oh, and also, because I did one fate, did that unlock anything for me here? Garlemald, yeah, so now I'm rank 1. Whereas before I was rank 0, I think. Did anything else open up here? Gemstone Trader. No, I guess not. I might have been mistaken. Okay. Yeah, Contingent Quartermaster. Your inventory is not full. Keeping tabs on its supplies does not appear to be the Ilsabard contingent's forte. Has it been stolen? I have an important task to perform, and by that I mean have someone else perform. At least you're honest about being a quest NPC. I've been lumbered with the unenviable duty of keeping inventory of supplies brought by each delegation. Though weaponry and basic provisions have been accounted for, I can't say the same for what might be considered creature comforts. You see, even the most frivolous of things can make a huge difference out here in the frozen wastes. So I'm trying to put together a list of the luxury goods at our disposal. Seeing as you're on good terms with practically everyone here, better than me at any rate, perhaps you could help. Much appreciated. I've already sent one of my subordinates to speak with the Maelstrom, Temple Knights, and Alamegan Resistance. I need you to ask the remaining groups, namely the Twin Adders, Immortal Flames, and our Far Eastern allies. Any information you could bring me would be most welcome. Alright, let's see what we can find out. Ooh, trespassers will be eaten. No, that fate's about to be over. Okay. Minuki, you are with the Steppe. You're with the Eastern Alliance. There is one thing that springs to mind. We have brought several bolts of felt, which might seem odd to some. Most people don't realize how effective it is keeping the cold out and the warm in. And that's not all. We use it in everything from clothing to our yurts, and even for patching up wounds. Of course, we're more than willing to share it with the rest of the contingent. We also have a whole crate of what you might call warming stones in the common tongue. Hold one in your hands and you'll see what I mean. There are plenty of those to go around as well. That's really good to have. That's incredibly useful. Thank you. Manolaine's the next main story quest giver. Alright, Kochaka, or Kochacha. Kochacha is with the... with the Ulda. Yeah, with Ulda. The Immortal Flames. Let me see. Other than the usual materiel, we also have a number of tents donated by Lord Lolorito. Oh, the worst potatoes, the least sweet potato. A few of them have been pitched around the camp, and you might be interested to know they were woven by Alamegan refugees. We're all glad they found meaningful employment, and the quality of their work speaks for itself. We do appear, however, to have overestimated how many tents we would need and find ourselves with a surplus of cloth. We soon discovered, however, that when folded up, the tent sheets make for surprisingly good bedding. I'd be happy to donate a few. All right, so we got beds, we got felt. Yeah, this is a good job to collect this sort of extras. All right, last is going to be the Alamegans? June. Oh no, the Yellow Jackets, right. Yeah, can you help? Creature comforts? Well, we did bring a large shipment of tea leaves provided by the Garlean Canopy. Mother Mune and Fufucha... Oh, right, the Garlean Canopy is the main inn in Gridania. Mother Mune and Fufucha both agreed that there's no better way to stave off the cold than a nice hot brew, and I can personally attest to that. We've enough for everyone if they've a mind to try it. Excellent. We're kicking ass here today. We got some good news for our inventory management friend. Contingent Quartermaster. Do the others have anything to share? Yes, they do. Yes, that'll do nicely. What's more, the Temple Knights, Maelstrom, and Alamegan Resistance had a fair few supplies of their own, so my list of creature comforts is a lot longer than I was expecting. In all honesty, I was worried that taking on all those Imperials might put everyone, including them, in a very unfavorable position. Even those of us most committed to the cause might find it hard to put the needs of our former enemies before those of our sworn comrades. A valid point, perhaps, until you can stop to consider the terrible fate that has befallen Garlemald. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. Yeah, usually you say, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemies, and in this case, it's pretty literal. In any case, they're the reason we're here in the first place, so it's our duty to lend them what aid we can. Listen to me ramble on. Anyway, for your part in making our lives a little more bearable, please accept this as a token of my gratitude. Thank you. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Nice. Okay, and I think I'm going to wrap it up here. I know we didn't get much done here, but it's pretty late here, and I think my session's about over. So thank you for watching. Next time we will talk to this friggin' guy. Okay, thanks for watching. See you later. Bye-bye.